interview for the morning is with Shahim Ismail from Lethal Forces. Assalamu alaikum to you, Brother Shahim. Welcome to the program.
Wa alaikum salam rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Julia Ali, to you and your listeners.
Shukran very much for making the time available to talk to us. And oh my goodness me, what a shocker of a story that someone from our very own community, somebody who belonged to the CPF, a member of the Lenasia Community Policing Forum, and his son-in-law have been arrested in Lenasia in connection with the recent spate of kidnappings in the suburb. What more do you know, and what more can you share with us and obviously the listeners and viewers of Salam Media regarding this story?
Julie, it is very devastating. It's very concerning. It's upsetting. I tell you, this gentleman is a gentleman that used to patrol. Uh, at the moment, I cannot find a word to accept or understand what is happening. But be as it may, this gentleman is actually the neighbor of the person that has been now charged as being the kingpin. Right now, the kingpin is very well known to me, known to everybody, that he has had a lot of run-in with the law with us personally. But the gentleman, the reason why I'm not mentioning the name because they're not formally charged. I don't know if you noticed that people are putting their faces on the media at the moment, which is unacceptable. I tell you why. When we have a ID parade, this is an opportunity for them to say that they were already convicted in the community, convicted with everybody else. That is why I urge the people, until they formally charge, until the charge has been given to them and things like that, that's the time I will mention their names and the faces will be shown. But if you
Okay,
look at this, sorry, yeah, if you look at
carry
this
on.
gentleman, yeah, if you look at this gentleman, he was a patroller. He used to use his own vehicle. He used to drive every street. Whenever we had an incident, he was always the first there to give. Now, looking at all the factors where he is, although they use the word CPF, they're very, very, very honest and hard-working people in the CPF, which holds my hand and we fight this crime. But what I'm saying here is, I'm not, you know what, it's difficult for me to go and say that you did this, whatever it is, knowing that he has been patrolling, knowing that he has been assisting in the community and things like that. But the only thing I can at the moment look at it, because he is the neighbor. He's the neighbor of the kingpin. Now, what happened here is there's no stone unturned with the law enforcement officers. They're going through every way because, one, they want to recover all the ransom money. They want more information. They want to know how the guy operated, and everybody who is involved is going to be taken to task with. Now, if you look at it this way, at the present moment, there was a lot of money recovered in this new arrest, right? And it's already known that this money is from the proceeds of the kidnapping or the kingpin's money. Now, what they are saying is, why would you keep the money of illegal proceeds or anything like that, which means you are part and parcel of that? That is where we're standing at this present moment, where we're still waiting to see what is uncovering. They say there's more arrests going to happen, right? But like I said, we are happy that the law enforcement officers, because this gentleman, this kingpin, I promise you, he's got no respect for the law. I had a run-in with him whereby firearm was recovered, a stolen car was recovered, and the next morning he was walking free, right? So he's got that in him where he buys everybody. That is where we're staying at the present moment, which means that
Okay. All right, Shahim, let me ask you this very important question. What you are saying is we are aware of the fact that the kingpin has been arrested. I understand last night I was with people, and the talk in the group was that the kingpin's wife has been given bail, so she is back home, allegedly. And now we're talking about the CPF member who has been arrested because it is alleged that unlicensed ammunition And of course, a lot of money was found at the CPF member's house. But you're also saying that the law enforcement agencies are hard at work on this particular case because they want to crack it wide open. But in the same breath, you also have said that initially, when the kingpin was arrested, or every time he was arrested, the very next day he was out on bail because he probably bought his way out. Are you not worried that something similar will happen this time around? That the people who are arrested in these cases within a few days are able to buy their way out?
Yes, I am. That is one of my major concerns. As you have noted, I have said I will not leave any stone unturned. This is where the community should get involved. Like as when we see something like this and it's affecting us, it has really affected us because it's very close to us. Any kidnapping or hijack or any any crime, believe you me, what it puts the family through. I mean, even if a person is kidnapped and he's been put into a five-star hotel, but what a family goes through, believe me, it's difficult to understand what they really go through. So to me, kidnapping is the worst thing that in our community we can experience because this is an opportunistic crime. This is a crime that has been orchestrated, and this is a crime that they want to enrich themselves because you have worked hard and they know that there is money to make, right? So this is something, that's why I go to every court hearing and I urge the community because if, you see, one of the major concerns when a judge has to give bail, it's got to, he first looks at it, what the detrimental effect is that for the community? Is it safe to lead that person back into the community? Is the community going to be happy with it, or is it going to orchestrate another similar crime? Now, if you do not show an interest, that means you're just another number. That is why I tell the people, come out to the courts, show that your support, and show that the courts, you do not want this thing to happen in your community. Now, that is one thing that can assist us, and then the police can see, listen to me, here this man is offering me X amount of money, it's not worth my my work, it's not worth my family, whatever scenarios, and I will be arrested. That is one side of looking at supporting me at the courts. The other side, it's also a would-be kidnapper. A would-be kidnapper walks into Lenasia and says, wait a minute, I'm going to kidnap Mr. X. Right? But then again, he says, no, wait a minute. This is a community that stands together. This is a community that if I'm going to get caught, they're going to make sure that the judge has got no option but to put me behind bars for the rest of my life. Now, that is what we are looking at the present moment. And yes, this gentleman, as I said, he does have a lot of influence. If you can even come into court, you can see how, there's no remorse. There's no remorse, and I'm coming out tomorrow, that attitude.
Okay, I have his name in front of me, but I'm going to respect your sentiments about not mentioning the name on air simply because you don't want that to be used as a loophole and the suggestion that he was tried by the media already and that might work in his favor. That being said, Shahim, are you not perhaps concerned, and it could get to that, this CPF member is granted bail together with his other cronies, and then jungle justice plays out in the community. They then take the law in their own hands and mete out the severest of punishment to these people. That is a very strong likelihood, is it not?
That is definite. I had already calls. I have already told me that it is Jais, and I had to calm a lot of people down because you must remember, it's not the people that have been kidnapped. It is the people who went through that process, that hurt, that anger.
That trauma.
So in our community, we, you know what, it's very nice to know that, for example, Mr. X has been kidnapped now. What support is there for that family? That
Mm.
family is going out in the wild with us, looking, going through, and you find people with hoax calls because people want, you know what, they want rewards to say, I know they're here, they're chasing people right around. All right. So we got a lot of challenges when a person is kidnapped. One of my major concerns is, yes, if the justice system failed the community, Allahu Akbar. I I wouldn't know what to expect because at the end of the day, uh, they like I had calls to say that listen to me, it's Jais for us to do this, to do that. I told them, listen, hold on. At the end of the day, we've got no right to life. That is my policy in life. All right, we've got no right to life, but at the end of the day, we've got to respect the rule of law. But if the rule of law is going to fail us, actually, I really cannot answer that. And people
Okay,
know what.
Shahim. I've got a message from Anonymous saying that he prays and he believes that jungle justice should be applied in this particular instance, that the kingpin, his family, and the CPF member and his son in law should be meted out with the severest of jungle justice so that a very, very good example can be set to other would be kidnappers and mischief makers in our community. And sad to say, this is Muslims perpetrating these kinds of heinous crimes on their fellow Muslims.
That
Shaheen.
is correct. That is correct. What happened at 2010 when Lenasia was suffering the same situation we are suffering at the present moment? We patrolled, we took out the criminals, and for at least 2 to 3 years, Lenasia was safe. So this community feels that, listen to me, we're going to do this. Now, we are saying to the justice system, keep them in. Keep them in, keep them away from them, and we're giving you the opportunity. We're giving the justice system the opportunity to really show us at the end of the day because they've got everything in front of them. And these are not the normal CIDs, the normal station that is investigating this case. As you can see, it is top ranking officials involved, and it's very difficult to bribe them. But like I said, the police can do X amount of work, but at the end of the day, it is the prosecutor, the judges who then have to make the final decision. And we always say to this is, we can work how hard. And when we go to court, these are the people. I mean, I'm for one. If I arrest somebody and I take tomorrow morning, that person is out on bail, and they're worried about the constitution, they're worried about the freedom of the criminal, not the community that is suffering like what we're suffering at the present moment.
Okay, so obviously, I actually think that from what I've been hearing on the ground and from what you've just shared with me now, that the community are absolutely incensed as far as this issue is concerned. And I actually fear for the lives of these people because I think, uh, I hope that I'm wrong here, but my sense is that if they are given bail, uh, I think someone's going to take these people out. But be that as it may, we're talking about three people for now: the kingpin, the CPF member, and his son-in-law. I get a sense that many more people are involved. Do you perhaps know who they are, and do you think that they are close to being arrested as well?
Yes, they are definitely close to being arrested. As you can see, this thing is for the last 40 days, it played out from Brackenhurst, played out from Benoni. Uh, there's a lot of people. You must remember something, Julie. People don't realize this is an orchestrated crime. This
Absolutely.
person will not come into the wild and just suddenly say, ABC, I'm going to kidnap you. This person who is kidnapping knows the people that he's kidnapping, knows what is their whereabouts. Would you believe it? If they kidnap you, they even know what medication you are on. They, in fact, even know that you are a 5 times namazi, that they will even take a musalla to you. They will even give you a Quran, and they will put you in that room. So they've done their researches. So the person, unfortunately, is in our midst. The person could be having lunch, supper with us, and that person is orchestrating to kidnap us. That is the scary part. It is not people that just coming into the wild, because if that happens, believe you me, we would have already weed them out. We'd have already got rid of them, type of a thing, because we are active on the ground and we would have seen that. But if somebody comes into your house and you have welcomed him with open arms and he sits in your house and he eats your food, and the next minute he's involved in the kidnapping, he has led the information out to the next kidnapper to say that, listen to me, he might not get the full ransom money, but 100,000, a million rand or type of thing. So it's worth his while, instead of going to go and work, to sit back on his own and to give information and to make sure that it goes through. That is the scary part. And it's not only in Lenasia. This is happening throughout. At one stage, it was the Pakistani group. All right. And if you note, I don't know if you know that the one gentleman was on the way to mosque and he was shot in the back, right in the public, on the way to mosque. Because
absolutely, we saw video footage of that.
That's right. So now,
okay. So Shahim, here's what I'm also thinking. This is really very scary. These people have got absolute insider information. And I'm wondering, when we talk about the CPF member, do you not think, for example, you indicated he was very dedicated. He was first on the scene whenever there was a call out of burglaries or whatever else that was going down in Lenasia. I'm wondering if he has not been threatened to join the kingpin in working with him, rather than, volunteering to become a part of the gang. Him and his family might have been threatened by the kingpin to say, if you don't join me and help me gather, intelligence on all of these different rich families, then you're putting your own life and your own family's life at stake. And that is why he has then joined forces with the kingpin.
That is one way of looking at it. All right, because as you know, that there is no backup from the South African police. When your family is in trouble, there's no way you could go. You've got to decide which way to go of the fence. But be it may, because he's the neighbor, now we're a community of, our neighbors are more closer to us than our family. Right? So obviously, he must have been approached and said, listen to me, I'm caught or something's happening, please hold this money, type of a thing, right? That's one way of it. There's another way of looking at it. Another way of looking at it, listen to me. He's got a family. He's got a complete family. He's sitting right next to this kingpin. Anything can happen. Whatever's visiting this kingpin, whatever scenario is, his life is in danger. So at the end of the day, let me be friendly. Let me join whatever scenario. And here, I've been found in the same vehicle as that, and I've been painted with the same brush, which it has to happen, right? Because at the end of the day it will play out. The investigation is going to play out because you've got intelligent, and these are guys the guys who's investigating these cases are guys that has really succeeded out of 100%, 99.9% in their cases. They're not wrong. So like I said, we're waiting, we're leading everything into the justice system, we're monitoring it, but we were giving them the support on the ground to make sure it is us to make, because they've done their work to a point. But if we don't show the justice system, listen here, we are tired. We are tired of this crime. And if you're going to give this people bail, this is the consequences that they can be facing. So what I'm saying to our community again, and I'm sorry I'm using your media to encourage them, come and join me. Let us go on the 5th of April again to court and make sure that they do not get bailed and they do not get back into our community, to make sure that we suffer all these things.
You have every right to urge the community by way of this platform, because it's in everybody's interest to make sure that justice is served in these type of situations. Your thoughts, my final two questions to you is, what is the message that these type of crimes is, obviously a very strong and clear message needs to go out to us as a Muslim community in South Africa. Is it about us flaunting our wealth and our position and makes us soft targets?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. What I say to the people, first of all, use the normal things, know your community, know who you are with, who's your friend, who's befriending your son, your daughter, or who comes into your surroundings, who reads with you namaz, who goes with you to mosque, who goes with you to functions. Make sure you know them. Secondly, do not flaunt whatever you've got. Allah's given it to you, keep it. Do not, I say, rather share it, but do not flaunt it, because at the end of the day, the minute you flaunt it, the other person has got that hasad eyes to look at it, and when somebody comes with an opportunity, he's going to go for that opportunity because he's seeing that you are flaunting it, you don't need it, type of thing, right? The jealousy, one thing in our community, jealousy, it's very rife in the community, and at the end of the day, this person might be thinking, okay, I'm giving out information, but he doesn't know what is he doing to the whole community and the family. So what I'm saying to the people, do me a favor. No, it's like, the old fittest lifestyle. I always say that. Everybody knew everybody, every religion, culture. We went into everybody's home and things like that, and we had a united community. So somebody hurt his finger, the whole community feels, let us go back to that. We will know who our criminal is, and we will weed them out.
Okay, and I guess the other very strong message we need to put out by way of this interview is that Alhamdulillah, make shukr for everything that you've been blessed with, all the, the abundance from Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but don't flaunt, don't buy your kids flashy, expensive cars, don't go onto social media and, put pictures of your family, your children, your beautiful home, your fancy cars, your designer clothing, etc., 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 because you're opening yourself up to be the next target. Having said that, Shahim, can I take you back to last week's interview? Can you recap for us and tell us what has happened about the issue around the hijacked building? That saga that we talked about last week.
All right. The hijacked building at the present moment, all right, these people have come in, they've already got homes. They have got homes. It's now the youth that want homes. One, they've come to the point that they've said that there's no owner to the building. They said the owner is foreign. They said the owner is dead. I then showed them the owner is not dead. It's a South African. It's a young entrepreneur. So we gave them all the documents. Half of them agreed. They walked off the property. And then you had a youth that said, we looked after the place as a community. We don't want kidnappings. We don't want rapes. We don't want housebreaking to hide into this property. The owner then said, okay, so if you people look after my property, I will then pay you people, right, because you've done it. No problem. Then there's a lady by the name, what you call Oma. There I can mention her name because she's already charged, whatever scenario is, right? And she went up. I've got actually sound clips of her meetings. People had to pay 2,000 rand to start to be on the waiting list, and they will pay 1,500 rand. Right. So be as that may, what the next thing we should do is to apply to a court order. The court, a court is actually hearing this case at 11 o'clock this morning.
Ah,
right?
okay.
I'm getting a court order to evict everybody. I'm talking even a cat or a mice on their property, right? I've given my final statement yesterday, and I'm not scared. That is why I'm showing my face. And I went into court and I said, this is what I want. My community comes first, right? And this youngster worked his heart, and this is his wealth, and nobody's going to overpower him and take this property. Because if I leave this to happen once in Lenasia, believe you me, any person who's even renovating is going to have problems with it. So at 11 o'clock, the case is being heard. They collected 200 rand per community member to pay for an advocate and to oppose our application. All right. So we are confident we're getting that application passed today, and we will. And we're not going to go red ends. We're going to go community with the sheriff to take them out, because we're not going to let this owner incur more cost.
Okay, Shahim, shukran very, very much for being so passionate about the safety of the community. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you for that. Of course, we will be following this pretty closely, and undoubtedly we'll cover it perhaps next week. We will try and get feedback from you on both matters and any other matters that come to light. Allah guide and protect you and all of those that stand with you. Until the next time, as always, go well and assalamu alaikum to you.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
That was Shahim Ismail from Lethal Forces bringing us an update on the issue around the hijacked building in Lenasia, and also the arrest of a CPF member in Lenasia that is linked to the kidnapping kingpin, who has also been arrested last week, both obviously in Lenasia, and it is understood that the CPF member and the kidnapping kingpin are actually neighbors. So that is the story thus far. We will obviously bring you an update in the coming days, inshallah. 8:30 a.m. news and views right here on Salam Media.